Well, good morning, everyone. It's a frosty, early winter morning here in Thompson, Georgia. We have the privilege to spend some time with Ken Williams, the owner of Thompson Concrete Materials. I first met Ken nearly 10 years ago when we served together on the board of the Ready Mix Association. You'll never meet a steadier hand than Ken. He's one of the calmest and wisest business leaders I've ever had the pleasure to work with. And I'm delighted to say that his son David has recently joined our board of directors, and we're so pleased to have him involved in helping us chart the course for the future of the GRMCA. Ken, please tell us about yourself, your personal biography, your background, where you're from.
So Bill, first of all, I'd like to say thanks for doing this, for recording the history of what was the Georgia Concrete and Products Association, which is now the Georgia Ready Mix Concrete Association. First of all, I was born in July 26, 1947 in Crawford Long Hospital, where so many native Atlantans were born. I grew up in southwest Fulton County and attended Headland High School in East Point, Georgia. I graduated from Wofford College in 1969 with a degree in chemistry and a minor in math. And after college, I was immediately drafted in the Army, and I served almost 2 years, with the last 10 and a half months as a combat infantry soldier in Vietnam. In August 1971, after returning from Vietnam, I became a science and math teacher here in Thompson at Thompson High School. While in Thompson, I really fell in love with teaching, but also a local girl, that is Kay Hughes, who was soon to finish college and become a teacher. Within a year of meeting Kay, we were married in 1973, and we both continued our careers as teachers. I was fortunate to continue my education using the GI Bill and earn my master's degree in educational administration and supervision. After my master's, I got a job in 1977 as an assistant principal at an elementary school here in Thompson. In 1978, at the end of my first year as an assistant principal, Kay's dad, D.C. Hughes, he offered me a career change with his company. And Mr. Hughes owned a small concrete construction company, which also provided ready mix not only for his projects, but also to the general public. Though I love my career, really love my career in education, and knew nothing about the concrete industry, I was intrigued with the offer and accepted the challenge.
That is quite a story and quite a change of careers from teaching to concrete, although there is certainly a lot of education that we talked about earlier this morning when we were visiting. There's a lot to learn, and you can learn about ready mix your entire life. Tell us a little bit about the history of the business. You alluded to it, but just talk about the evolution of it, the growth of it, and kind of bring us up to the present.
Well, first of all, the name of Mr. Hughes' business was Thompson Construction Supply Company. The company was incorporated in 1949 by some local guys, Benny Langham and George Poss, and Mr. Hughes was their accountant. Over time, and by 1959, Mr. Hughes had bought out the original owners. When Mr. Hughes bought the company, its focus was on ready mix and also precast concrete products such as septic tanks and other precast products. Mr. Hughes, like so many folks, grew up in the Depression, and because of that, he had that drive to become a really good, successful businessman. His ready-mix business excelled in the 60s during the construction of I-20. Along with his main concrete plant here in Thompson, he bought a portable plant and located it first in Grovetown down near Augusta, and then moved it to Crawfordville. So with a combination of the main plant here in Thompson and the portable plant, we were able to provide a lot of concrete for the bridges, the culverts, and everything but the paving of I-20 between Crawfordville and Augusta. After I-20 was completed, the company's ready-mix demand slowed some. We did get some competition in the area a little bit more. So with it slowing, he had one of his key employees that became the lead in establishing our concrete construction focus of the business. Our emphasis was commercial and industrial. Now, we had this was a small team, a small group. I mean, we're way out here in the country, but we did focus on commercial and industrial. That's where the money was. We couldn't make the profit that we needed to make in residential. So we did a lot of construction work for Georgia Pacific. We worked at probably about 3 of their different mills in the area. Georgia Iron Works, which is pretty big down in the Grovetown area, and other companies. And we did, equipment foundations, walls, slabs, on grade, curb and gutter, and parking lots. In 1989, we acquired our local competitor's concrete plant here in Thompson. And then with the additional purchase of plants in Washington, Lincolnton, Rennes, along with a new plant in Camac right down the road, the shift of focus of the company went from concrete construction to ready-mix concrete. Once our key concrete construction superintendent approached retirement, we stepped away from precast and concrete construction. And this is what prompted our name change from Thompson Construction Supply to what it is now, Thompson Concrete Materials. In 2017, my son David joined the company after receiving a degree in economics from the University of Georgia, and then went on to get a concrete industry management degree from Middle Tennessee State. In addition of his education, he had 5 years of work experience with Lattimore Materials in Dallas, Texas as a general manager of several concrete plants. So with his coming on board, this sort of marked a new chapter in our growth of our company.
Well, the question that comes to mind as I listen to your story is I'm just curious about some of the bigger challenges over all of those transitions, and that's quite a bit of transition in the nature of your business. Can you talk a little bit about some of the difficulties over the years, some of those circumstances that you were able to work through, and just talk a little bit about the difficult side of it?
So, well, first of all, as I mentioned coming in, I knew nothing about the ready-mix industry. So that was my first challenge, is to learn about the ready-mix industry, but also the concrete construction. My education provided me with the general science and math skills needed. My work experience and education provided people skills that's necessary in our business. However, as a small privately owned concrete company operating out in the rural areas of Augusta, we did not have the resources that all the larger companies have. So my next challenge, once I had about 12 years of experience and we began to grow, is how do you manage more than one location? And a growing number of employees. But I think that the biggest challenge that remains today, and will always remain, not only for us but for larger companies, is the will be the factor of workforce development. How do you build and sustain that perfect team? Just when you think you have the perfect team, you've got somebody that retires, or somebody that enters that so-called transfer portals that will take them to what they think is a better job. And so, I'm pleasantly surprised, happy that our association sees that as a challenge and is addressing it at this time.
You've been involved in so much in your life, and I can tell you're very proud. You're proud of David. You're proud of the work that the two of you have done. Can you talk about that a little bit, about the things as you look back that you really delight in, that please you, that give you that pride of work? What are some of the things that come to mind?
Well, first of all, I feel like I've got to mention my parents and what they did as far as raising me to make me what I am today. They raised me in a Christian environment with a strong work ethic, and that, of course, is carried on in my life, and constantly remember and try to achieve that that atmosphere that they put around me as they were raising me. Next, I'm really happy and proud that I met the lady that I married, Kay, and I'm proud that my career has moved forward and has done well, and much of that is because of her support. And I appreciate the fact that both of us together have raised three great boys that have become good husbands and fathers and leaders in their workforce and in their community. And of course, we've mentioned David. I'm very, very ecstatic and proud that he came on board. I've been kind of running out of steam around here. I'm 76 years old. I still have that interest, but it takes some youth. And I'm so happy that he came on board. And so with his education and past industry experience, he's got that motivation, that youth, that young, energetic motivation that will lead our company into the future.
Well, Ken, you've obviously been a big influence on your three sons, and I've spent time with David since I've been back and got to know him, and he's a really impressive, fine young man. And again, we're excited that he's on our board because we've got some other younger board members. We've got DJ Ernst and Ben Cantrell and Justin Womack. There are a number of younger folks that we need. We need that young blood, as you call it. So you've been a big influence, and it shows. But let me ask you, who, as you look back, who's been a big influence to you personally in your life and in your career and in this business? Who can you tell us about some of those people?
Certainly, I'll focus on one. This is a name that this is a past president, a name that doesn't pop up much. That's Lee Smith. Lee Smith was what I feel like the greatest influence on my ready-mix career. I met Lee in the early 80s, and Lee was part owner of Southern Road Builders in Augusta. Until the 90s, Southern Road Builders had a concrete ready-mix division, and they also had an asphalt road building division. And as an owner, Lee was the manager of the ready-mix division. Once we met, he took on the role as my mentor in my education about the concrete industry. Lee was not only a technical resource, but also influenced me to grow our company to be a respected and a profitable business. During this time, when I first met Lee, he was actually chairman of the Georgia Concrete and Products Association. This was around 1978 when he was chairman. And though our company has been a member of the association since either the late 60s when it first formed or the early 70s, Lee encouraged me to become more involved in the association. He even recommended me to the association to become a future board member. The association listened, and I became a board member in the late 80s when Walter Harvard was the board chairman. There are many others, such as Walter Harvard, Jack Strickland, who started Evans Concrete, Ben Hall with BH Hall Ready Mix, Gene Martineau, who had was heading up Allied Concrete that years ago. Randy Turpin, he was with Blue Circle Cement. He's just a very, very smart QC guy. He knows just a tremendous amount of work about concrete. But Lee is really the one that motivated me and started moving me in the right direction.
And clearly, as you pointed out, you've been involved in the association for a number of years, and it sounds like multiple terms as a director on the board, because I know you were with me in probably 2015. So as a business owner in Ready Mix, what would you say are some of the benefits, the important, the value, if you will, of the membership, being a member of the Concrete Association?
Well, I'd like to just look back and talk about some of the big things that stick out as far as being a member. I remember back in I guess it was back when Ken Harmon is now with Carolina Stay-Lite, but in 1987 through 1993, he was our promotion director. And he did a wonderful job organizing our association to focus on promotion. He did a wonderful job back then of taking our state and dividing it into regions, and then sort of organizing each region to focus on concrete promotion. Now, each region, they could determine what do they want to focus on. Do they want to focus on concrete parking lots? Do they want to focus on pervious concrete? What is their focus? And for us, our particular region was the Augusta region, and it was made up of concrete producers in the Augusta area, and also our associate members that service these producers. And our region was led by Jimmy Carson, who retired several years ago from Wholesale. Jimmy was just has a great personality and knew everybody. He could bring all the producers together and the associate members together, and then focus on what we were going to do as far as promotion, and that was concrete parking lots. We just had a great time doing that, getting to know each other, because back then producers were it was highly competitive. You didn't want to talk to your competition, but he brought everybody in, and we focused on what we could do to make have more business for everybody. We even had some great workshops. I can recall several that we would have down in Augusta, and we would plan these. So in promoting concrete parking lots, we would have different speakers. I can remember Mel Gallinat with fiber mesh coming in. He was a speaker that talked about fibers, the advantage of those over that wire mesh that always winds up at the bottom of the slab. We would have somebody from the admixture in to really explain to the people at the workshop. And the workshop was made up of local finishers, concrete finishers in the area, and residential and commercial contractors. And so we were trying to educate them about fibers, trying to educate them about admixtures, trying to educate them about crack control, how to lay out your joints in a parking lot, how deep you had to cut those joints. And it was just I mean, we had at some of these workshops probably between 50 and 100 people. And we'd always wind up, we'd get that attendance because we would tell them about the big barbecue we were going to have after. and we had a local guy there on site cooking chicken and ribs, and so we fed them, and we even had raffles and door prizes. So that was just a great benefit, certainly as being a member. I would say some more recent, really huge benefits for both small and large producers. First of all, when GDOT removed that 8-yard cap on deliveries for ready-mix concrete to DOT projects, that was huge. Also, the mixer truck tax exemption, again, that's huge. But also just simply building relationships with lawmakers, with GDOT and other industry groups. And another benefit is supporting the concrete industry management program with Middle Tennessee State University to offer. I mean, you know, back when I was coming along and I needed to know more about concrete, there was no formal education. You just had to get with some of the current producers that were willing to share and willing to help you. But now we've got that thanks to the Ready Mix Concrete 2000 that Gene Martineau was the spearhead on. And my son, as we mentioned before, went to Middle Tennessee State, and he got a scholarship from what was then the Georgia Concrete and Products Association. So I think this is a very big benefit of the association.
Well, it's funny as I listened to you talking, Ken. You know, we began with you talking about your being an educator in the beginning and making the big leap into ready-mix concrete. But now, as I listen to you, you've spent a lifetime in ready-mix in education, in learning yourself and educating your customers and educating the community. And it really is an industry that's a never-ending learning process, which we certainly strive to do in the association, along with building the relationships that we enjoy amongst all the friendly competition, which is good. I've got one last question for you, Ken, and it's a simple one, but I'd be curious to hear what advice. We've got a lot of young people in the industry coming up, and I'd love to hear and they would probably enjoy hearing from you. Just any advice you have for the next generation in the ready-mix industry here in Georgia.
Well, Bill, I think is a very simple answer for that, and I've kind of touched on it throughout this whole interview, but my advice is get connected. It's hard for an individual company, no matter whether they're big or small, to stand alone and to solve the problems and the challenges which arise every day and will in the future in the ready-mix business. And of course, I feel like from day one when I became aware and got involved with the association, our association is a means to get connected, to individuals and to the services that will meet their needs.
Well, Ken, I know you're a busy man. You're still involved in this business, and you took time out today to visit with us, and we really are grateful. We're excited about this little project of the oral history project of the association, and we're so glad that we were able to be with you. And I just want to wish you personally, you and your family and your employees, a very Merry Christmas and a very prosperous 2024. Take care. Have a great day.
Thank you, Bill.